Good morning. We are now on Facebook Live for this month's ANLP membership Q&A session. We're delighted to be joined on Zoom by Mariana. Hello, Mariana.
Hello.
And also here is Nina, who's our membership coordinator, and
Hello.
Cash, who is our head of strategy, and is also keeping an eye on the Facebook Live questions that may come up via Facebook. So here we are. Nina and I were just having a conversation about, what happens if nobody turns up? So we're really glad to see you, Mariana. And one hopes that you've got some specific questions that you'd like answering about your membership. So, so please do start.
Yes, I have a few. Thank you. I didn't realize there are going to be 3 people listening to my questions, so I'm just going to take a deep breath.
All right, it's not means there's more expertise.
Okay, so some of my many questions, and I'm just going to keep asking until somebody else pops up. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely fine.
Excellent. So I am very excited for the international NLP conference that's coming up soon. I went on the website, and I'm not sure if you can help. I tried to book my place, but not the ticket, rather the sessions, and it doesn't seem to be available. And there seems to be what's the word? Like certain presenters are in one block. So do you have any advice or any information about when and how to select the sessions?
Hi, Mariana. I sent you an email response this morning to your question on the website.
Okay.
The Hoover app is not available for delegates yet. We're still testing everything. So about 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks before the live date of the conference, we will release it for delegates. Then you can use the Hoover app to build your agenda, as you wrote on your email, and that involves looking through all of the sessions that you want to attend and clicking add to my agenda. It will be on the app. We'll be issuing education documents and information about how to use Hoover, so you can build your own agenda and use that effectively. And I'll just ask for your patience to do that, because we're still in the throes. We want to give you the best experience, so we're testing it as much as we possibly can.
Awesome, and I've sold that the person who can answer is right here. Woohoo!
and Hoover is the app we've used for the past few years. It's taking on a whole new life of its own this year, because obviously the conference is virtual. And it's a really good idea to build your agenda, and certainly when the conference is in person. We did have that the first year, where people could book sessions in advance. However, you know, we're a flexible bunch of people, and we like choice. So we've actually made it much more simple in terms of you can decide on your sessions through the app. You can add them to your agenda. However, if you change your mind, it's absolutely fine. You can just attend a different session. The only reason that the agenda is there is because it will also give the presenters an idea of how many people they might need to be catering for in their particular session. If they're thinking about doing breakout rooms or interactive elements, they will be able to prepare in advance to say, you know, we're now going to split you into groups of 2 or 5 or 10.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So I will wait patiently. Shall I be just checking regularly closer to the event?
Yeah, yes, you'll get an email to tell you what's going on, and okay. Please also keep checking the website. There'll be updates on a fairly regular basis as to what's happening.
Thank you. And the time on the event, is it in UK time, London time?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Which will be BST by then, because obviously we will have moved into British summertime, so it will be British summertime timings by the middle of May. So that's actually fine. You will also get an email. So when we open up the Hoover app to delegates, when we add the delegates to the Hoover app, you'll also get an email from Hoover, I believe. Is that right, Cash? You're muted.
Yes.
Yeah, we got the
That's
gist of
great.
it.
Excellent. Okay, can I go on?
Yes, please do.
So the next question about guest blogging. In the last email I received, can you tell me what's a guest blogger? How many words? What the top and just, I think relationship is the last thing. Do you want, what is it that you want? Do you want somebody with NLP experience on relationship?
Yes, so I believe we put in the members update, it's 300, maximum 300 words. We will be having different topics each month. This is a new thing that we're doing for 2021 and probably beyond that. And it's an opportunity for members to write guest blogs for us. We're focusing on relationships for next month because obviously Valentine's Day, so our topic for next month is relationships. And it is really for people who've got expertise in working with clients in relationships, and it's a very broad sense of the word relationship. So it might be relationships between couples, it might be relationships with staff relationships, team relationships, organizational relationships. It's the broadest definition of relationship, so that we can introduce your potential clients, potential students, to the idea of how NLP can effectively be used and applied in all senses of relationships. And as I said, there will be additional topics coming up. So in the news update each month, there will be, and this is going to be next month's topic. So there'll be an opportunity, hopefully there'll be an opportunity for lots of members throughout the year to provide this sort of information depending on what their specialism is. The other thing to take note of is that not only do we have the blog section of the website, depending on the number of articles we receive, what we can also do is set up a specific knowledge base area on the website that will focus on relationships or focus on organizational skills or whatever. So our intention is to potentially use this information to build additional pages, web pages, so that the general public get very clear ideas of where NLP can be used, how NLP can be applied in so many different settings.
Yeah, it's like, I think for example, one topic I saw, conflict management. You have a few case studies there?
We do have case studies. So case studies is another opportunity. So case studies are there which members can access at all times, and they can follow the template to upload their case studies, and we then choose the case studies. So when we do relationships next month, Shannon, who deals with our social media, she will be taking things that we've got about relationships from all different sources. So we've got rapport articles, we've got the case studies, we'll have the blogs and potentially knowledge-based articles, and also we'll be featuring members who specialize in relationships and that sort of thing. So we take a lot of different sources to then be able to provide the content for the social media. So yes, there are plenty of categories on the case studies section of the website already.
Okay, and if I want to find out more about the blogging, because from the email there is no link to read about blogs, so I try to put in the search on the ANLP website blog, but it just took me to actual blogs, not to what your expectations are about blogs. How do I find? So
we haven't set any specific expectations, because the very nature of a blog is that it's from that member's perspective. So they, rather than us put together a set of rules, apart from it's a maximum of 300 words, it very much is written in the style of that member. It's written about the topic, but it can be written in the style of that member, because it's the opportunity for people to read about how you approach these things, what your style is. So it's deliberate to not give that sort of guidance, because we don't want to sort of regiment it must be done in a certain way. When it comes to the case studies, we do set sort of there's a form to fill in for case studies which answer specific questions, but the blog is very much it's free writing for you.
Okay, I never wrote a blog, so that's why I have no idea, but now I know. Okay, thank
If
you.
you scroll down to the bottom of the front page of our website, you'll see the last 3 blogs will be on there, and you can click on there to look at all the blogs. So you'll be able to see most of them at the moment are written by us, but there have been a few written by other people already, so you can see what they've done.
Good, I will do that. Any other questions from somebody? I have more questions. I can keep you occupied.
Is there anybody on Facebook Live who's
We've had about 8 people viewing. As yet, there are no live questions.
Okay, so carry on, Mariana.
Okay, so can you tell me about the community cafe, please?
Yes, there is a link to that, which is open for members only. So the community cafe is every Monday evening. It's 18:30, again UK time. So at the moment that's GMT, and that will flip in March to BST. The community cafe is a bit similar to the blogs, I would say, in terms of it's very much free flow. So whoever turns up, we have a conversation, and the conversation, sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes we're dealing with a serious topic, we're dealing with collaborations, challenges. It's just basically whatever comes up. We have a few regulars that do turn up, and we've almost started, oh well, next week let's talk about such and such. It's sort of it's very free. Cash, would you like, you come obviously you come every week, would you like to explain anything further about the community cafe?
I think that from a personal perspective, that every time that we've had a community cafe meeting, every single time there has been a light bulb moment for someone on the call. There has been a connection to be made for someone on the call, or several people on the call. The collaborations have gone from initial introductions to partnerships in programs that people are working on, and these people will range from London to Blackburn to all over the country, and all over the globe actually. South Africa and the US, and we're having some great impacts depending on who turns up, and it varies, as Karen said, from person to person. So the impact that the community cafes have is dramatic. It's fantastic, and it's great to be a part of.
We've had some interesting things that have bounced off that as well. So sometimes it's sort of, we'll have a conversation, and it'll be, and people will have an idea, and then it will be, well, how does that develop? And either ANLP takes something on. I mean, the whole COVID support hub that we have on the website, with all the videos, bite-sized videos and everything, that was the result of the first community cafe that we had. It was, wouldn't it be wonderful if? And that's what happened as a result. We've also had some very interesting conversations depending on who's on the call. So one of our members is a voiceover specialist, and he's been on the calls, and he's been giving us tips and hints as to how to improve the video quality and how to improve the audio quality of recordings and things like that. And as I said, sort of various projects, various ideas, various, as Cash says, we always come out of it enriched.
So like it's like a hardware store. You are selling light bulbs to people.
Absolutely. Light bulbs of their choice.
Yeah, awesome. So I will sign up. I see the link. I will come next Monday.
Yeah, and that one is a members only benefit. So which is why we keep the link hidden behind in the members section of the website. So
yeah, I am a full-fledged member, so I will come.
You absolutely are. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. That's great.
I have one more question if nobody else has.
Please go ahead.
So your website is really huge and vast, lots of information. It does take quite a while to sort of get to know. So I'm sure you have something, but I haven't come across. Do you offer any free talks, free seminars, free anything to improve my NLP skills?
We don't offer that as such because we're the professional body, so we don't actually do any training. However, one of the key areas that you probably would be interested in is the practice groups area of the website, because what we do is we support a number of practice groups around the country. Well, again, some of those are also overseas as well. And that the practice groups are where members and non-members gather together to practice their skills. So there's that I think would be the first port of call. And of course, at the moment, the benefit of the practice groups is that even though they are located somewhere, the current situation means that most of them are running in a virtual capacity. That's right, isn't it, Nina?
Yeah, I think all of them, the ones that are currently still running groups, are all virtual. And then we've had about 5 or 6 new ones that have joined last year during the pandemic, who specifically just, they don't have a location because they are virtual, and they'll probably carry on being virtual, I would think, after if we ever get back to being able to meet anybody ever again. Yeah.
Sure, someday, but yes, there'll be a new normal, won't there?
Yeah. But there's loads of them, Marianne. Just go to the practice. You'll find them under courses and workshops under the resources tab on the website. You'll find it.
Go there. The resources, publications. So I'm on resources, other resources and workshops. Found it. Good. Okay, I will look into it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sorry, there's another question that's just come up from Samantha Yakubas.
And
I'm saying it here so that it's on video, as well as we can put the answer onto Facebook as well. Samantha has asked, how do I get the logo onto my website? I'm trying to work on this. I'm sure there are instructions.
Well, we can give you instructions. There is a, I think there's a how-to guide. Let me just share screen for a minute.
There is.
So I will share screen. So hopefully you can you now see the website?
Yes.
Excellent. So, you have to be logged in. So I'm just going to log in as a test member. So Callie is our test member, one of our test members. All our animals are test members of ANLP. So you click onto your dashboard, and when you're on your dashboard, you go to the downloadable resources at the bottom of the page, and there you can see, so Callie is an accredited trainer of ANLP. So as an accredited trainer member, she actually has access to the professional logos, the trainer logos, and the accredited trainer logos. If she was a professional member, then the trainer logos and the accredited trainer logos would be grayed out. So all you have to do is click on this, and it will take you to, this is a locked down page for members only. This takes you to the page where the logo is, and these are all the different formats that you can download it in. As to how to get it onto your website, we have no idea on that bit. That's web development that isn't our forte at all. I could definitely say that you'll probably want it in either the PNG format or the JPEG format to get it onto your website. I'm not sure why we have it in the PDF format, but we do. The EPS format is something that most of us mere mortals won't be able to open. This is a special, like I said, encapsulated print format, which is what your printer will want if ever you're printing any course materials or anything like that. Your printer will want that particular version. So that's the version that goes into report that our designer uses. But definitely download the PNG versions and the JPEG versions, and then how you get it onto your website will be an instruction outside of this.
Can I just add on that clicking on any of those actually does the download.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you want me to demonstrate that? So if I just click
yes, I
on
think it's a
that,
good idea.
you can see it just downloads. So that will go into your download folder, wherever that is on your PC, your Mac, your laptop, your phone. So that will be how you get it. And then I would just click on that and open it. And it's probably doing it very slowly because I've got an awful lot of things open at the moment. So we won't worry about that for now, but it will be there for you to, oh, it's gone now. So that's that question answered, hopefully. But yes, that's for how they get it on their own website. And I've got no idea, Samantha. Is there anything else?
Samantha says, okay, fab, thank you. So it's on video as well as the how-to video.
Brilliant. Oh yes, I did never check. There is a how-to guide. So that's actually one of the key areas of the website. We've actually set up recently a new support page for the website. So let me just, I'll just do a screen share again. That screen there. So at the moment I'm on the, so on the About Us page, this will be going on to the bottom of all the news updates, and it's also on our autoresponders, is a link to this support hub. So we have a lot of resources that are there to empower our members, and it's really, really key that you check these out, especially the how-to guides, because if you send us an email saying, how do I change my address, we're just going to point you at the how-to guides, because we've created these for you so that you are empowered to be able to deal with a lot of membership queries when you need to know them, because much as we would like to sometimes, we don't work 24/7. So if you have a question that on a Saturday evening about how to change your address on your profile, we're not going to be answering it until at least Monday or possibly even Tuesday. Our customer service statement is within 3 working days. So you'll get a much quicker response if you take matters into your own hands, take responsibility for your profile and click on the how-to guides. There are many. And if there are any missing, then we definitely take the feedback on that, because and we pick up those by the questions that we do get asked in emails. All these how-to guides have been generated because they're questions that we get frequently asked. So we've created a how-to guide for it, and they're all little videos. Most of them are little videos, 2 minutes or less, that just talk you through with a screen share as to exactly how you do whatever it is you're asking to do. And as I said, if there isn't a how-to guide, then we'll definitely create one for you, because we take that feedback very seriously. So I need to go back now. The other things that are on this support hub, the frequently asked questions.
Yeah, the frequently asked questions are I would say as helpful, as important as the how-to guides, because there is an awful lot of very basic instructions in there as well, and that's on the bottom of every single page as well, in the black border, in the grey border.
Comes down, so you can access those. In fact, what we ought to do is put the support hub into that it's that one, the FAQs and support hub. You can put that in there as well. So I will make a note to do that. My trusty post-it notes and support hub. Yeah, and as I say, that it's really important that we've spent a long time putting those things together for you, so that you can be empowered to act on whatever it is you want to act upon very quickly. I think we've probably all read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and one of those is it talks about the 4 quadrants of urgent and important, and urgent and not important. And of course, if we're in the middle of getting the next issue of report out for all our members, we may not be able to answer your urgent and important question quite as quickly as we can do by you looking at the support hub. So oh, we have Iris has joined.
Hello,
us.
Iris.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Iris. Welcome to the members Quest Q&A. Where are you based, Iris?
In London.
Oh, in London. I was fooled by the beautiful backdrop you have.
Oh yes, I got them all.
It's lovely. So Iris, welcome to the group. Oh. I've never got the hang of that, so you just get to see the messy or not so messy desk. Iris, do you have any specific questions for us about ANLP membership?
Yes, I joined in 2018. So I really want to know the more functions. As far as I know that you'll have some events. Yeah. So I booked the events, the annual meeting in May this year.
Yes,
I have booked. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
And I know you run regular weekly or monthly meetings. So I want to know more activities here. Yeah.
So we've Mariana asked about our community cafe, which is every Monday evening at 18:30. So you can access the link to that. It's on all the members updates. So you'll get the link on the members updates, but it's also linked to from the members area of the website. So that's a Zoom meeting. It's very informal. It's not. It's literally a sharing of ideas and that sort of thing. Apologies, Iris, I don't know your membership level. If you're a trainer or an accredited trainer, we do also have a monthly Q&A session interaction in the same way for trainers and accredited trainers. That's once a month on the first Thursday of the month.
Iris is professional member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that one wouldn't be of interest to you. Then of course members run practice groups, which is where you can actually go to practice your NLP skills. We don't run those per se because we're the professional body rather than trainers. So the trainers are available to do that sort of thing. One of the other areas that just some the bite-sized videos, which were originally put up on the website for key workers to support key workers with COVID-19. Those are a superb set of resources. And at some point this year, Nina and I are constantly working with our web developer, Nick, and he's going to be repurposing the COVID-19 resources for us because they're just brilliant bite-sized resources. They are as of much value. They're open to the general public, so anybody can access them. However, they are as much of value to members as they are to members of the public. So those are there for you to use as well.
Thank you, thank you. It's very good. So when I know, we have this meeting. Sorry, I remember it's 10:30. Yeah, I'm late. Sorry for today.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so it's very good. Yeah, so I can feel you supply excellent service to your members. Very much appreciate. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And this one, sorry, Karen.
No.
This one happens once a month, Iris. Not always at this time. In fact, each month it's a different time, isn't it, Karen? So that we
do 3 different times. We do
try and capture
10 AM, one at 2 PM, and one at 7 PM, so that hopefully there is one there that is available for people to be able to attend. And this is a Facebook Live, as as we said, and that's a monthly one that's open to members and non-members so that we can answer questions about ANLP membership. So.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
And these, well, back in the day when we were allowed to go out and actually meet with people, we also used to do our open forum meetings, which we'd do in conjunction with somebody in a particular area. So might be one of our ambassadors or just someone where we could see that there was a collection of members in a certain area. And Cash and myself would travel up there and just host an evening. We'd provide some sort of drinks and nibbles and host an evening very similar to this, where we just sit around and talk about, members and non-members, again open to members and non-members. It'd probably be a while before those start up again.
Doesn't that seem a long time ago that you're doing that? That feels like years and years ago.
It was years ago. It sadly was years ago. And to be honest, I mean, I think, you know, with the whole pandemic, you know, that every cloud has a silver lining. And this, I think, is one of the things. I mean, we used Zoom an awful lot before the pandemic. However, these opportunities now, which are much more efficient and much more cost effective for people to be able to do these, you know, it's just, well, yes, let's have more open forums online. You know, why not? Which is where these things kind of, you know, they were born out of, and they're not things that, you know, it's lovely. We sometimes only have a few people here, and they're very successful. So we will continue doing them. This is something that we've discovered and developed, and we'll continue to do way past the pandemic when we are all allowed out again, because it's very efficient and easy for people to join and get together.
Very good. Yeah, so this new year, my new year resolution is I want to attend your events or workshops as much as possible. I'll, you know, watch close with your website. Yeah, thank you.
No, that's lovely. Well, there are lots of so we've got the conference, and there are all these sorts of things. Specific trainings, obviously, you can go on the website and see what our members are doing, what trainer members are doing. There is also an area on the website which we will again be repurposing. At the moment, you can see it on your profile as being invited to provide complimentary resources, complimentary sessions for key workers. Again, that's proved to be so popular, and there are so many people who do offer, you know, even if it's an introductory meeting with someone before they potentially become a client, or an introduction to NLP. So all of those things will be able to go on there once we've repurposed it. So there'll be lots of additional resources where people can do an NLP taster session with a one-to-one with one of our professional members, or you know, a one-to-one a training session, an introduction to NLP. They will all be able to go into that area as well.
Excellent, very good. I use ANLP logo on my new business card, which is very good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Once we have enough people using the logo, we intend to do some outward-facing campaigns to encourage members of the public to look for the logo, because obviously that's you know, the logo is a sign of your professionalism, the fact that you belong to the professional body. So we intend to start educating members of the public more in terms of, you know, if you're looking for an NLP professional, then look for the ANLP logo. And that, you know, that will help people be more discerning, and ensure that they choose a good NLP professional when they want to work with someone.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you.
Marianne, do you have any more questions for us?
Yes, I do. I'm a question asker. So I am just looking at all these wonderful courses, workshops, personal development courses, and they don't seem to have a price listed. So if I want to know how much it is, I have to either click on another one and another one. Is there an easy way to find out which of these are free as opposed to paid, instead of going through each of them one?
So all the courses and workshops are uploaded by our trainer members, by our members. We don't have, apart from the fact that Nina goes through them all and moderates them to make sure that they're
not
okay.
claiming anything. Yeah.
Yes, they're not claiming anything incorrect. But that is a really good point, because I mean, I think the thing is, it's kind of like, you know, with our rapport advertising, we if every trainer runs a different model of pricing. So some might price it by the module, some might price it. If they've got super early bird rates, which I know a lot of trainers do that sort of thing. If they've got a super early bird rate, if they've got an early bird rate and all that sort of thing, it would be quite high maintenance for them to have to keep updating their diary entry to indicate the current price. So the intention is that you know, that if something interests you, then you go and look further, you know, investigate things further with that trainer. And of course, you are, of course, if something catches your eye and it sounds of interest, you can, of course, contact that trainer direct through the website, and ask them, you know, you really like the idea, sound of their trainings, you like what they're doing. Do they offer any free events? Do they offer any intro events or anything like that? And check that way.
Yeah. Except, yes, I can do that. Thank you. It's at the bottom of this page. I'm just looking at the page. It says event information, so it shows the date, the location, and the contact. So maybe if something could be, it's either free, so something to, or if there is a cost, because then at certain times I know I only look for complimentary, and other times I can pay for it. But it's just so many additional steps, and there are so many workshops and courses that I will probably not pursue it.
I think, well, I think that's where potentially when we repurpose the complementary resources, then we would encourage, I mean, you know, obviously our trainers, like all our other members, they do need to earn a living. So it will be that the courses and events, well, although we've got practice group events on there, which are normally free, but not necessarily. If there's a, probably they're free whilst they're virtual, but when there's a hall to pay for or something like that, then obviously that cost is normally split between the people who attend the practice group. So, but yes, I mean, we could explore. It's worth asking the question at our next trainers meeting to see how they would feel about having some sort of price added to the diary events. As I said, it might just be there's an indication there's a cost involved or there's no cost involved. But I think because we're going to have the complementary sessions, then it might be that complementary events end up going onto there, and the paid for events stay on the courses and workshops. But it's definitely a question we'll ask of the trainers to see how they feel about it, because as I said, that's an element of the website that is entirely up to them. And so I know some of them do put in the body of their information how much the course costs, and others choose not to, because it might be that, you know, for any number of reasons. I mean, you know, not all. Sometimes when you're buying a house, it's price on reputation.
It's a very personal thing, isn't it? And everyone is very different, because I know when I was starting out in business myself, and I looked at loads of other people, you know, peers, and some put the costs on the website, some didn't, and there was, you know, I thought, who gets most inquiries? Is it those that have the costs on there, or those that didn't? And funnily enough, it's the ones that didn't that got the most inquiries and converted the most work.
And I think that's really key, Nina, from that perspective, because it is about, I mean, NLP especially is about rapport building. So yes, if everybody is making a decision based purely on what's written on a screen, then there isn't that opportunity necessarily to build rapport. And I know in the past I've sort of made a decision, you know, I know what my budget is, but I'll nudge an extra £50 or something like that, because actually I really have enjoyed, or you know, I really want to train with that person or something like that. And I think the cost is such a personal thing, and it's also based on so many different things. So
when people ring and inquire about trainers, when they say can we recommend, which we don't do, because obviously we are a professional body, but I will always say to people, I would pick maybe between 3 and 5 and contact those trainers, because I think it's critical that you have a rapport with that trainer. There's no point in spending thousands of pounds if you're going with somebody that you really don't particularly like. It's, you know, you're not going to get the full benefit from the course.
And that's between training after school and training in school. When you're at school, you don't get a choice of teacher. However, once you're out in the big wide world, and you can choose your teachers effectively, and there's a lot of information on the website about how to choose a trainer and how to choose an NLP professional from that perspective, because as Nina says, we don't specifically recommend, and we recommend all our members That's the point. We recommend all our members, and we can't make someone's decision for them because we don't know what their decision-making criteria are. So it sounds like at the moment, Mariana, as you say, sometimes your decision-making criteria is cost or not cost. Sometimes, possibly not so much at the moment, but usually location is one of the chief criteria for people. And it might be, you know, the slant of the course or the slant of the training and the topics, and so much is, you know, there are some brilliant trainers out there that I personally probably wouldn't learn an awful lot from, simply because of my VAK rep systems are different to the way that they're training, and they are absolutely subliminally good, brilliant trainers. They just don't fit my training style. So that's why we get, I mean, I do remember once a long time ago, I was talking to someone for over an hour on the phone because they kept on saying, so if you were to choose a trainer, who would you choose? And if you were to, and I kept on, I'm not going to choose. It's not my decision. There are so many criteria involved in making a decision. I don't know what your criteria are. But if you were to choose,
can I just dip in here? So Samantha's asked some more questions. Basically, so it's around the support that we offer. You know, do we have a support page on the website for COVID key workers? Yeah. And I said we can show her that. The other thing is to how she can, well, how other people can submit their offers on that page. And
can we do Samantha, these one at a time?
Well, just let's do the last one first. The last one is what you've just said. Samantha's asked, can we recommend any courses to training courses to deliver training as an NLP professional?
No. Does she mean actually? Hang on. Well, that's an ambiguous question, actually, Samantha. Maybe you could be more specific with that, because do you mean courses about being an NLP professional, i.e. the professionalism, or do you mean courses about training in NLP? Because obviously trainers training is where someone learns to train in NLP. Courses about being an NLP professional, that would be a completely different kettle of fish, and that's something that we have thought about potentially in the past. I mean, the good starting point, I guess, would be the book, The NLP Professional.
Okay, so Samantha may well be joining us on Zoom. I've sent her the Zoom ID for this. So the first two questions were COVID-19 Support Hub and how to submit your offer.
Right, okay. So let me do a share screen again. Okay, so you can see the ANLP website?
Yep.
Excellent. So, right, memory of a goldfish at the moment. Cash, what was the first thing? Oh, COVID-19.
Where's the COVID-19 resources? Yeah. So
the COVID-19 resources have their own section on the website, COVID-19 resources, which will be repurposed. But so the various resources that are available can all be found in this section under resources, under COVID-19 resources. So we've got the public support hub in there, the bite-sized video support. I'll just show you these because we've mentioned them. The public support hub, so this is where our members have put in their complimentary sessions and that sort of thing. So this is where they've got the free one-to-one group coaching for mums, free trauma healing. So this is the coaching workshops for teams and organisations. Various things probably going on for a number of pages. So I'll show you in a minute where you input that information. The other resources include, so then I mentioned earlier, the bite-sized video support. Oh, there we go. So again, these have been provided by members, and there's a lot of really valuable information that you can just watch these. And this is free training for you, Mariana, because you know these are all very short videos. I think the maximum, and it says so you can decide what you want to look at based on the amount of time you've got available. But as you can see, there's a number of, scrolling down. So there we go. There's a number of resources on that page. Originally entitled COVID-19, as I said, we are going to repurpose those, and they are there for everybody. You don't have to prove you're a key worker in order to access those. And then we've got the various bits and pieces. So these much more about support for members in terms of these sorts of things, the community hubs and that sort of thing that we're using. So in order to, if you want to submit something for this page, the bite-sized video support, then you do that by emailing Shannon, admin@anlp.org, and we will then get those. We then put those onto the website. If you want to get something onto the complimentary offers of coaching and whatever, you go to your dashboard, and right at the top of your dashboard is the invitation to submit your coaching support. So you, excuse me, you literally click on the green button here, offer coaching support, and you'll be taken to creating a new one, the type of support, who they need to contact, and it says leave it free if you want it to link to your profile, and then you put a brief summary in there of what it is you're offering. Once you've done that, that goes into our moderation queue, which Nina checks. Do you check that daily, weekly, monthly?
I check it daily. I don't always clear it daily. if there's more than 5, I'll go in, but sometimes I wait until there's more than 1. Otherwise, one at a time is not a good use of time. But I do look at it every day. Yes.
Excellent. So that's where you actually submit the information that you would like included on that page of complimentary sessions, and as I said, we will be repurposing that so that it has longevity after COVID-19. So is there anything else, Cash, from Samantha or Mariana? Do you have any more questions? Our question queen.
No, thank you.
Oh. Oh, Samantha is just joining us. Hi, Samantha. Oh, still connecting to audio.
Now.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I've just answered the question, Samantha, that Cash raised on your behalf. So you'll be able to we'll put this we put this recording up on our website as well, but you'll be able to play back through the Facebook Live. Yes. Probably about we probably started answering that question around 10:45. So if you go
I did hear it and I listened to it, and then I've just literally clicked in at the end of your going through it. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. The last question that the chap was trying to explain, which perhaps didn't word very well, I've got small children, and you know, not normal times.
Yeah.
So I'm just a sort of NLP practitioner, and for a few years, whilst having children and moving around everywhere, because my husband's military, I've kind of done a bit of coaching here and there. Well, practicing as a practitioner with sports professionals and children and in schools, and what I'd really like to do, I suppose my goal is to work with the military when they leave, so they go into the transition period to work in civilian life, and there is, as you may be aware, with soldiers off the street, and you've got post-traumatic stress disorder and all these veterans that are suffering, and with COVID I think it's going to be excelled. I'd really like to, I don't know, create sort of a training program, work with the military to help them alleviate sort of some anxieties and stress, and be able to present themselves well in interviews. So I'd like to go down that avenue and to become an accredited trainer, perhaps stroke practitioner. And I'm not too sure sort of what sort of training to do to enable me to be recognised as a professional, but also to be able to deliver it effectively to get good results for these people.
So certainly, if you want to be doing NLP training, then you'd need to do your master practitioner and trainers training from an NLP perspective.
Okay.
I also know, so we do know of a number of, there's a few members who work with military groups, and a lot of their training is delivered through ELCAS, ELCAS,
Yeah.
which is I believe the body that recognises, that is recognised by the military. So you would then have to go through the ELCAS process for accreditation in order to be able to deliver that sort of training with the military. And certainly I know that at some, I think I've got a couple of trainer members in mind who do that work through ELCAS, and I think their ANLP accreditation, I think, I'm not certain, I think their ANLP accreditation has helped them with that. There is also another project that we're working on at the moment that will support that sort of thing in the longer term, to enable to get that recognition for you know, for delivering particular training courses in the military and in other areas. But that's a fairly long-term project that Cash is actually leading at the moment. So, but yes, if you're currently a practitioner, then and certainly working in the area that you're talking about working in, which I think is commendable and definitely needed. There are definitely additional trainings to consider, certainly more NLP training, and also some specialised training, because if you're working with people who've got PTSD, that's definitely, there are some specialist trainings involved with that sort of thing that would be advisable for you to consider. I believe I think it's Lisa, well, I know it's Lisa DeRick. She runs a training on PTSD protocols that has NLP basis to it, but they've developed with the Research and Recognition Project, they've developed specific protocols for supporting PTSD that have all been researched and everything. So that's another person, because that's a very specialised training. We definitely recommend that you get additional training, because it's such a sensitive area to work in. It's not something it's not something I would choose to do, because I would believe that it would be outside my scope of practice, because I don't have any direct experience in that, in that field. Clearly, as you are military based, you've got experience in that field already, so it's a very commendable and definitely well worthwhile thing to follow up with.
During the first lockdown, I did some voluntary work for the British Legion, and I was able to run sort of weekly mindfulness and tips and help, and through some of the training and some of the things I've done and learned along the years with all the members of the British Legion. So I did that from March till August, I think it was, online weekly, with children running around and being crazy. And I did reap, you know, the reward from doing that personally, and you know, so I just really want to follow it through. PTSD is a very delicate area, and perhaps not for now, but later on in the future, perhaps the first element is to, you know, to enhance my professional development, and then hopefully run down and be able to follow through with what I want to achieve. So thank you for that.
And definitely for the PTSD thing, we would absolutely encourage you to do specialised training for that, because it is so sensitive, and it is, there are on our website there's a section on best practice, and one of the things it talks about is knowing your scope of practice and ensuring that you do have the right qualifications and certifications to work in the area that you want to work in. For example, under 18s as well. You know, there is specialist things to take into account when working with under 18s. There's, you know, there may not be specific NLP legislation, however, there's lots of UK legislation.
I've done the safeguarding a lot of times. Yes, I know, that's good.
Yeah. So,
Samantha, sorry. Samantha, I would strongly recommend, go along with what Karen was saying, that you search Lisa DeRick or DeRick on the members on the website,
How do we spell your surname, please?
Surname is DE space RIJK.
Okay.
And contact her if that's something you're considering on the PTSD front, because she.
Yeah, definitely.
Samantha, if you go to the master trainers list, she'll appear on the scrolling. What are they? Photographs.
All right. Yeah.
So
and whilst Nina said earlier, we don't normally recommend specific trainers or anything. When you're looking for something very specialised, and we know, we are aware of a trainer that is dealing with something very specialised, then of course we will point people in that direction for something that's very specialist, because it's in all of our best interests that our members are appropriately trained for what they want to be working with. So hats off to you, Samantha, for wanting to work in such a well rewarding area, and also for taking the professionalist side of things very, very seriously, and ensuring that you are appropriately trained in order to do these things. So true professionalism in action. Thank you.
Thank you too. Okay.
Thank you. Does anybody have any final questions? Because we're nearly on the top of the hour now. I think if nobody has any more questions, there aren't any more questions on Facebook, Cash?
No, we're all clear on Facebook.
Okay, so I'd just like to thank you for coming today. Thank you, Nina and Cash, for being tremendous support.
pleasure.
And we'll see you next month. I ought to have in front of me when the next one is, and I don't have that in front of me, so we'll post it on Facebook later. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
And